Hello, everyone. This is Glenn Schlender, Superintendent of the Luxembourg-Casco School District, coming to you with an additional brief presentation about the referendum. This is specifically in response to some common questions, issues, and objections that we have heard as we've interacted with folks from the district. And so I want to just get right into some of these things. So in the way of an overview, some of the questions have revolved around the design of some of the buildings and that they don't like them. I want to respond to that. There's been some information about this all being about athletics and the gym. Some couple of questions about sewage costs related to question 2 and moving to middle school. Some objections about taxes already being too high. I'd like to respond to that. That the moving the middle school to the high school or conjoining them is a bad idea. And then also some concern about sharing band space in a new middle school, high school setting. So first of all, about the design. The drawings that we've shown you thus far are not finalized in any way, shape, or form. They've been drawn so that we get a concept to make sure we get the right number of rooms, so you have the right number of math rooms and so forth. And so that design has not been finalized. It's been done just to give us a sense of what the cost can be expected to be. If the referendum passes, there will be an extensive 6-week process where involved staff and other stakeholders will be given plenty of opportunity to have input on the specific things about where things should be and decisions about whether or not to have this or to have that. And so criticisms about the design or people who are being critical about the design should know that that has not been finalized in any way, and there'll be lots of opportunity for stakeholders to have input. With regard to the referendum being about the gym, clearly there is a gym in the plan, and it's very evident, not only because it's large, but because it's been a need for such a long time. But I want to point out that for question 1, about half of the budget is about educational spaces, including the tech ed rooms, the family and consumer science space, libraries, and other areas that will all benefit. So it is really not just about the gym. In terms of the entire project, it's about 25% of the cost. So that may have been misleading because we featured the gymnasium first in some of the lists of things that were going to be addressed, but by no means is that the most important thing. There are plenty of other facets to question 1. With regard to sewage costs, I know that that's been a topic in part of past referenda efforts. I spoke directly with people at the Village of Casco and learned that if we move 7th and 8th graders to Luxembourg, there will be a very negligible difference or change in Casco residents' sewage bills. So in other words, yes, the district will not be contributing as much to the sewage costs, but the village's costs for sewage treatment will be dropped commensurately. So again, a very negligible increase in any sewer cost to Casco residents. In terms of taxes being too high, you've seen these graphics before if you've seen the other presentations. The picture on the left shows the tax impact compared to from where we are now to where we would be if both districts pass. It also shows where we are and where we would be compared to the state average, which is that black line just under $10 per $1,000 of equalized value. And it also shows that even if both questions pass, our mill rate is still going to be less than most school districts in the area. The diagram on the right shows just Luxembourg-Casco's mill rates historically and projected into the future. And while the tax mill rate would go up if both questions pass from $8.08 currently to $8.85, that $8.85 is still less than the mill rate from the 2015-2016 school year. So yes, there's an increase. We believe and can demonstrate that it's not significant compared to neighboring districts and compared to where LC has been in the past. There's also been some information about how putting the middle school next to the high school is a bad idea. and that for a variety of reasons. What I can share with you in CESA 7 is that there are 10 school districts out of 28 that have some version of a combined middle high school. And that statistic is consistent with what occurs across Wisconsin. In other words, about 140 districts have them too. In my prior district as a superintendent, we had a 712 high school. It functioned beautifully in that regard. There were virtually no issues that occurred between middle school students and high school students because we go to great lengths to keep those students and their classes separate. So another thing that we're hearing is some concern about music room spaces, specifically band and choir. And so currently right now, there are 2 band classes at the high school and 2 band classes at the middle school. There are 4 choir classes at the high school and 3 at the middle school. And so we believe, even though there are a number of classes there with 2 rooms and an 8-period day that spans 2 days, one option, of course, would be to have separate choir and band rooms at the middle school and at the high school. But that comes at, we believe, quite a high cost. We also are looking at the schedule and believe that it's very doable to ask those teachers to share those spaces at the high school. In addition, the hallway that would connect the proposed middle school to the existing band and choir rooms at the high school is rarely used by high school students, and so they can access those spaces without having to interact with high school students. And we believe that this is probably the most economically appropriate way to approach this issue. I want to thank you for the opportunity to share more information with you again. You see on the screen my direct telephone number at work, which is 845-2391, extension 103. Please do not hesitate to call and ask questions. My email address is on the website, gschlender@luxcasco.k12.wi.us. I welcome all of those questions because our main goal here is to make sure that people are informed and that they have accurate information. Once again, thank you for your attention.